Hey everybody, it's Paul from Alexander Knife Sharpening and Laser Engraving. Wanted to show you something new that I recently made for you guys that you can go print yourself. They are again something that is on my website. I've shown you the mandrels before. One of the things people have asked me before is, do they make non-woven wheels for the jewelry buffers? Because keep in mind, these are smaller buffers than your typical large size buffer like I have over here, which are much bigger and much more powerful. They do make them. The problem I never liked was I didn't like using these conical setups for the non-woven because they didn't run real nice. Well, here's what I did for you. I have made an insert, and if you are using the mandrels that I've made that you can print yourself, if you print your own mandrels out, all you have to do is you can take one of these, slide it over the mandrel, and it will fit right on top of your non-woven pad. With the regular nut that we use for the radial discs, you can screw this right onto here, and now you have an arbor that's perfect that you can take on and off for the non-woven pads. These come in 300, 600, and 800. I'm sorry, it's actually 320. 320, 600, and 800. And it comes as a set. Not super expensive, but you can get them for this size. I've always found non-woven pads to work really well at certain things. One, they can be excellent for deburring things. I love them for deburring serrated knives, especially if you guys are doing the more aggressive method using the diamond wheels to cut in new serrations. You can create very significant burrs with those, and non-woven pads work really well for deburring that type of situation. They also work great for cleaning up kind of nasty old wood handles that need a lot of stuff removed off of them. There's a couple things I will warn you about. I'm not a huge fan of using these for polishing a knife. It's very easy to put a blemish mark on a knife with a non-woven wheel. You also see this when people try and polish knives with Dremel tools. If you haven't seen my older video where I refurbished an entire Bark River knife's finish where a person tried to polish it with a Dremel tool and put all these cloud marks into the knife, I took it all out using radial discs. So I caution you on these. If you want to do finish work with non-woven material, I would caution you not to use a wheel for that. I find the far better option for non-woven is stuff like what I have up here, these nice big 2-inch belts that are basically the same thing. They're non-woven material, or you can even get them, no problem, in 1x30 conditioning belts. They're going to give you a much more even finish than you're going to get with the wheel. This is just me speaking from experience. I've polished many things, and if you try and polish something with a hard wheel like this, you will inevitably hit areas that you don't want to, and getting that nice even finish is very difficult. Now, some people might say, well, Paul, the radial discs are round, so how come you don't run into the same thing with the radial discs? And I'm going to show you why. Because the radial discs, although they're round, they're very soft, okay? It's very easy to hit the entire surface with the radial disc, where this is hard, and it's hard to see exactly where this is hitting, and to get that nice even finish going across a knife. That's my caution. I think they're a fantastic tool to have in our arsenal, but I'm just going to caution you, be careful with them using them for finish work. I think there's far better options. Another thing I want to address, people ask me, why the jewelry buffers? Why not just a regular buffer? And I have a regular buffer right here. I have a very nice regular buffer. My jet buffer over here, this big giant variable speed buffer, is fantastic. It's great for doing even higher levels of polishing than I normally do with these. The thing with big buffers and stuff like this is they're not necessarily easy to change out the pads. It's not a quick process. Now, I will say this about Jet. They're probably one of the very best designed buffers in the world, because they're one of the few that I do know where you can put a wrench right here on the arbor and take the nut off very quickly. So many of them, if you guys have done this before, you take it off and it starts moving the arbor from one side to the other, and it can really make you crazy. And sometimes you go, why didn't someone just put a way for me to put a wrench here and unlock this? Jet's one of the only ones that I've ever seen that have done that. But even then, it's still not a quick change like you have with a jewelry buffer. With the jewelry buffers, I can very quickly come in here, and I still use a pair of pliers because I tighten these down pretty tight. But within seconds, I can take this off and go to, some other type of pad that I want to hit something with. I could go to that one doesn't have a cap on it. But I could go to another, type of abrasive extremely quickly, tighten it, and I'm good to go. So the jewelry buffers, they don't have incredible amounts of torque, but they have incredible amounts of speed. But the nice thing about that is they are very safe. So you can get in, and I'll show you here. If this touches my fingers, or if I have to get in here and get real close to it and hit something, I don't have to be concerned that I'm going to hurt myself with a jewelry buffer. Because if you've ever seen jewelers, they're often right in here, touching all over the abrasive, even with their fingers. They're quite safe because they're mostly high, they're variable speed, but they have very high speed, but they don't have an incredible amount of torque. So it's not going to grab you. It's not going to throw a knife across the room or anything like that. With a regular buffer over here, like this Jet full-size buffer, you absolutely have to be very, very careful. It will throw a piece across at you. You have to, buff in the proper area so that if anything gets caught in it, it takes it away from you. Jewelry buffers, yes, safety's still important, but they are far safer than using a full-size buffer. So it's another reason why I love these. Last bit of caution with the non-woven wheels that I want to talk to you about is the particles. Make sure you wear a mask. You can see I have a vent over here. I actually, when I use these, use it on this one that's right in front of the vent. If you don't have a vent, put a mask on. They do throw a lot of material into the air. That's another reason why I never really loved them a whole lot, because sometimes when I would use them, if I didn't have a mask on or something, I felt like I was breathing the stuff in, because you probably are. So make sure you use proper protection with them. Radial discs throw almost nothing off. I would still be smart, be safe using them. They are not messy as compared to these non-woven wheels, which do create quite a bit of material when you use them. So I just wanted to make you aware of that too. When you use these, there's a lot of stuff that comes off of them. Where radial discs, there's almost nothing that comes off of them. It's a much dirtier operation when you use the non-woven wheels. That's it. Just wanted to add those couple points to you of why I like these. The interchangeability is one of the super nice things about them, is just how quickly you can change different things out. So if I want to do a full progression, say I want to do an 80 radial disc all the way up to, the 1 micron, it's still not a big deal to change these wheels out. Even if I had them, and they would be incredibly expensive, they do make them. If I had radial discs that would fit on that jet size buffer, they would cost an arm and a leg to have a full set to do that. This is about the most affordable range that I have found for them. And when you take something like a 4-inch one that will last you close to 2 years or more if you use it properly, they're quite economical. When you start getting bigger than that, they get extremely expensive. They do make them for full-size buffers. I've seen them, but you are literally talking hundreds of dollars. There you go. I'll talk to y'all soon, and have a great day, everybody.